You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with two comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere The Experience is all the time.
Hey everybody, what's up? Fat Jack's Comicrypt here. I'm Brendan. That's Al. We're missing our third leg, Jason, so the tripod's probably going to fall over at some point. As I always like to joke, you still have two fools here asleep at the wheel. We are a claim sale show as it goes, so let me just do a quick little business here, even though I imagine anyone who's tuning in with us now has probably seen this before. But if you were interested in any books up here and you want to claim them for purchase, we're going to need you to claim them, obviously, in the chat. Please be as specific as possible. Like, we have a lot of Mark Spector Moon Knight here, so just saying Moon Knight isn't going to help us. Because, again, first come, first serve, so we need to know in the chat, who claimed it first, that whole thing. When you do claim a book, if you were here near our Philadelphia Center City location, which is where we film this here, you can pick the books up, behind the register. Just whoever's here, just let them know. Be behind here under your name. I imagine a bunch of you are also subscribers and you've done this before. Anyone over in the Jersey area, you access our Oakland shop. We will obviously ship those books over there for you to pick up. But if you are outside of the area and you need us to ship the books to you, if you have done business with us before, we still have your shipping information, contact information. But if this is your first time, we're going to need you to email us at our email, which is fjccshow@gmail.com. That is how Al is going to get your information. That's how he's able to send you the invoices, and we get your shipping info and get the books out. Now, when it comes to shipping, we're still doing that. First item is $7, and every additional item after that, the price goes up a little bit. But again, we will do our best to keep the shipping costs as low as possible. We're not here to profit from the shipping. We really just want to get the books to you. So let me think. What else? If anyone wants to follow us on social media, we are Zanin. What is up, buddy? Speaking of Zanin, just popped up here. I just want to let everyone know who didn't see our local show. May 1st, the May 1st show that we're going to do, Zanin will be back as a guest star, so we will have the opportunity to talk to him. Maybe I'll have the opportunity to actually pull together a bunch of books that Zanin actually wants to talk about instead of he will be live, that's for sure. Hopefully it won't just be Zanin sitting there as I talk about the first appearance of Blood Mask and the new issue of Iron Man that supposedly is going to show up in a Disney Plus series. And it's like, I have no idea what these idiots are talking about. Can we talk more Avengers Defenders War? Get into some actually interesting books. No, all joking aside. I look forward to having Zanin. He'll be back on May 1st. We missed out on the opportunity around the holidays because this guy got sick. So we didn't do a show that period. So if you want to follow us on social media, we're doing the Instagram at the FJC Paradox. Appreciate everyone's support. That's been fun. Let's think what else. Any books claimed tonight, we are going to give you a free Youngblood booster pack of trading cards from the GOAT, Rob Liefeld. That's right. All the art is Rob Liefeld art. So whenever you claim a book tonight, you're getting a pack of Youngblood cards. And if we run out, I'm pretty sure
You get quotes.
let me see
You
something.
get notes on Rob Liefeld's life.
No way.
Yep.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Rob attended high school art classes and then life drawing at a junior college. Wow. You're going to get the stuff like this. And if anyone does get these cards and you do anything weird with them or create like a strange collage, we need to see it. Please. I would love to start seeing some weird art and strange things people do with some of the free stuff we give them. So again, if
It's a great card.
what is that? I don't even get it. And we are going to give something away. Kyle, I apologize. I didn't give you the heads up so we could do the whole giveaway thing, like the experience. And Kyle has some kind of a giveaway.
We can do it anyway. It only takes me about 2 seconds to set up.
Oh, okay. Because now, again, it's not an awesome giveaway. It's not some epic thing. We're just having some fun because we're giving away some Rob Liefeld Youngblood trading cards. I figured, why not? All you have to do is claim something. You claim anything, and your name goes into whatever Kyle is creating.
Yeah. So to do that, use hashtag claim, and then you can buy it.
Wait.
I have to either use a hashtag or let everybody enter.
Okay. So when somebody claims something for their name to go into the giveaway, they have to type in hashtag claim.
Hashtag claim, and then the title of the book and the number.
Okay. So they just have to claim it with a hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that'll.
So it should look
Wow,
like
that's not
this,
confusing.
and then the title of the book and the number.
I think I think it's so simple. They think it's.
Well, we'll see what happens. Who knows? There are a lot of people who probably don't want to win this.
I mean, we haven't sold anything yet.
But what we are going to give away is we're going to give away the original Wildcats Compendium trade paperback that collects, I think, the first 3, 4, 5 issues. I don't even know. It's still sealed, and it even comes with a Wildcats number 0. There you go. So for anybody who wants to possibly win this Wildcats trade paperback, do whatever Kyle said.
So it'll look like it does on the bottom of the screen right now. Hashtag claim, then the title of the book and the number.
Okay, so when somebody is claiming a book and they want to be a part of the possibility of winning this Wildcats trade, that'll be what puts them in the running.
Yep.
But if they don't want to be in the running, they'll just be, I claim blah, blah, blah. And they don't
pretty
use
much.
that. Okay,
Yep.
all right. Well, hey, we're learning together, folks. Hopefully this works. We'll have some fun. Because, again, as we go forward, I'm enjoying this giveaway stuff. We have lots of variants. Corey from Aftershock, our Aftershock ambassador, is always so generous to hook us up with Aftershock variants. In fact, probably in 2 weeks when we're back, we'll have some more Aftershock variants to give away. So we'll keep this up. It's fun. People seem to enjoy it. Everybody on Instagram and YouTube, they do this constantly. So I guess these two idiots will get in on the game. Though, in all honesty, they give away, like, here's a $100 variant. Here's this, like, epic key issue, and you have to do this and jump through this hoop. And I'm like, do you want a random collection of Wildcats comics? In fact, the plastic bag is actually pretty, like, foggy because it's so old. It's original. At least it's got that going for it. It's never been opened.
First appearance of Wildcats in the tree.
There you go.
Is that the only place you could get the 0 issue?
I think so, yes. No, I imagine you could probably buy it for like $1 or $0.25, something like that. But at the time when this originally came out, in fact, I actually purchased this when I was a kid because I wanted that 0 issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we're young. Real quick, no matter what we're talking about, this is something we just we will always prioritize the chat. So if I'm talking about something and you only have a certain period of time to watch and you're curious about something I'm standing in front of or I'm not talking about, just hit us up in the chat. Al will will monitor that, and we will prioritize whatever the chat is looking for and interested in. Specifically, and at some point during the show, we will get to them, just a little run through, because there are some people who watch this in the experience, don't see our local show. But this top row up here is everything we did get to, but was not claimed on the local show. So if you see something up there you're curious about, or you want to know more about, let us know, and we'll get to that. So this row over here is a bunch of stuff in the local we did not have the opportunity to talk about. So that'll be the first thing we talk about, obviously, if something else doesn't come up priority-wise. And then we're going to get into, we have a lot of Mark Spector Moon Knights. Now, I just want to be, we do not have issue number 1. We're missing a couple. We don't have a full run. Obviously, we do not have the Stephen Platt issues anymore. They went about a month ago or so. But, you know, people are enjoying the Moon Knight show. We recently got a bunch of these in, and we haven't had them in a long time. So why not spotlight them and let people know? And I imagine someone is asking about this, because this is one of the few legit keys.
He's got to go.
Okay, yeah, so let's do this real quick. Mark Spector Moon Knight, number 4, Newsstand edition. This is probably like a very fine plus to a high grade. This is $10, and it is the first appearance of Midnight, who at one point was a sidekick of Moon Knight, who would later become a villain. So there we go. This is, like I said, very fine plus-ish Newsstand edition, $10, Moon Knight, number 4. So, oh, yeah.
I'm going to assume you still want it, Howard. But if not, if it's too expensive.
Yeah, if you change your mind, like, let us know. Did he already bail?
He said he's got a split and he wanted to claim it, but he didn't hear the price. So I don't know.
Okay. So, well, I mean, that price is market value, and we didn't really mark it up too much for it being a newsstand, just because we're not that smart.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, only some people do, and they're not here to defend their choices. So anyway, so we'll get to those Mark Spector Moon Knights. We got some Wolverines. We just got a bunch of books that we will just slowly. We're going to be pretty low key. We had a nice manic episode last week, so it just being Al and I, we're going to just be chill and just wander through this. Also, Kyle is with us, our wonderful producer, and I just want to thank you, Kyle, for all of your help and all the work you put in. I don't actually thank you enough, so let me take that opportunity to say that before we move forward. Okay, so where are my notes? Because I got to know what the heck I'm talking about. Al stepped away, so if anything comes up in the chat, we will we'll pause on what I'm talking about, and we'll move on to whatever you want to talk about. But until then, let's do some of these Fantastic Four books that we have up here. First up is Fantastic Four Annual, number 27. Now, this is a book that became a key around the Loki series, and anything pertaining to this organization and characters still is carrying a bit of value because Loki season 2 is going to happen at some point, and it looks like they are going to, especially with Kang and stuff, that these kinds of characters are going to keep remaining in the MCU. Now, in this annual, we have a first appearance of Mr. Tesseract, Mr. Alternity, Justice Might, Justice Truth, and Justice Liberty. These are all Time Variance Authority agents. The TVA, that was the group introduced in the Loki TV show. So this is a high-grade copy at $10. And then, now, we already sold his first appearance on the local show, but this was a fun one. I was going to kind of tie this in, and then I completely forgot. So let me make up for it. This is Fantastic Four Annual 1999. This is the issue where Blackheart becomes the Black King. That is the son of Mephisto, for anyone not aware. And if you're curious about his first appearance, that occurs in Daredevil number 270. A nice key that we had early on the local show that looks like somebody claimed. So now this book is a very fine plus at only $3.
Real quick, to Mr. Benjamin, We do a good amount of Strange Academy back issues. I'll email you a list of the different covers tomorrow, and you can go from there.
Cool.
Thank you.
And then, now this was a character or a villain who is primarily tied into the Jeff Loeb, Carlos Pacheco run of the Fantastic Four in the early 2000s. And this is Fantastic Four Annual 2001 and the first appearance of Abraxas. Abraxas is a green dude who's naked, who has like a towel or something that he wraps around his body, and he's really pretentious, and he's kind of a dick. But, you know, this is his first appearance. And it's got a really cool cover there of a, Galactus skull. It's pretty fun. And then next up, a couple little fun Fantastic Four issues from the 90s. This is from the Walt Simonson run of Fantastic Four. This is FF number 350. This is the issue where Ben Grimm turns back into the Thing, and Shannon Ventura, who at the time was known as Ms. Marvel, she was a Thing character for a little bit. This is where she becomes human again. If anyone is confused by what do you mean Ben Grimm turns back into the Thing, real quick, this is a high-grade copy at $5. So post-Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, that was the big events where a lot of things happened. You saw a few of those issues here on the show before. But during that storyline, Ben Grimm turned back human. He turned from the Thing back into a human, and which led to him leaving the Fantastic Four for a period of time. He was replaced by the She-Hulk. And then during the early, like 89, 90, Ben Grimm came back to the team. He had a girlfriend at the time, Shannon Ventura, who was like a female wrestler. He knew her from the superhero wrestling circuit. And something happened, and so she became the Thing for a period of time. And so Ben Grimm, feeling a little bit, let's say, insecure, Reed built him an actual like Thing armor. So Ben Grimm as a human would dress up in this Thing armor. And so there was a period of time in the early 90s where the Fantastic Four books had two Things, Thing and Miss Thing, primarily known as Ms. Marvel. But that gets really confusing because how many Ms. Marvels have they been in Marvel Comics? It's almost like Marvel's obsessed with that word. And so, but in issue 350 of the Walt Simonson run, that's where they officially made Ben Grimm the Thing again. And like he says on this cover, ain't nothing like the real Thing. Oh, man, it's always fun. It's always comics, man. I would have loved to have had this next issue on our goofy full celebration of 90s gimmick covers, because this one's a fun one. This is Fantastic Four 371. Now, this is the first print. The first print is all white. The second print is all red. Now, I don't know how well this image, it's all embossed, comes up on the screen. Not at all? It just looks like a blank?
It just looks like you're holding back.
Right. So for anyone who doesn't recognize this cover, it is Johnny Storm, and he's going full Nova, and the Fantastic Four title and the little letterbox thing here are all melting. So this is an issue where Johnny Storm just goes Nova and all that kind of crazy stuff. It's the 90s, so even though it was issue 371, it's not even 375 or 350 or 400. They got to throw a gimmick cover on. But more importantly, this is the debut of what is referred to as Sue Storm's revealing costume. And so I imagine some of you might be like, what do you mean by the revealing costume? So it was a period where Sue Storm wore a tight midriff. So her belly and lower torso is fully exposed. And the 4 that was on her, the midriff, right in the center of her chest, is exposed. So the 4, it's no material. It's like pretty much like Sue Storm's Power Girl kind of outfit. Is there? Yes. There we go. Thank you, Al. Okay, so that right there. I mean, that is, they call it the revealing costume. Let's just be honest. It's a stripper. It's a stripper outfit. You know, because again, Marvel was trying to compete with, I don't know, the bad girl craze. Who knows? But this is her in pretty much a G-string and a bra.
It even made it to the logo box.
Oh, wow, you're right. Yeah.
She even got some time.
Yeah, so look at that. They were really pushing Sue Storm's revealing costume. Now, in all honesty, except for variant covers lately, where they're like, it's like a throwback, like where like Thing is wearing his helmet because Wolverine cut his face and he had a really nasty scar. So for some reason, he was really embarrassed by that. So he wore a helmet for a while, which again, I think was just Marvel being like, it's got to be more grim and gritty. Give him a helmet. But you never see that costume anymore outside of like, you know, variant covers or something. Because let's be honest, she's
got like garter belts.
Yeah, she's got garter belts.
It's
It's
ridiculous.
inappropriate for a character like that. Again,
she's straight up like right here. She looks just like Pam Williams, like her face.
I know.
Like,
God,
it's crazy how much she looks like her.
Yeah, and I don't even understand what is the point of these. Like, it almost looks like a garter, but it's not holding up her white.
It's not holding it. It's just a
Ethme boots. Yeah.
It's the Ultimate Warrior bands.
Yes.
It doesn't serve a purpose.
Except to cut off blood flow, which allows your muscles to get more blood. Anyway, this is a fun one. For anyone, like, just 90s nostalgia, I know you can't see it. This is Fantastic Four, $371, very fine plus copy at $4. Next up, from when Fantastic Four came back from their Heroes Exile, or I'm sorry, Heroes Reborn, Heroes, whatever the heck they were calling it at the time, where a lot of Marvel characters went over to Image, and they were worked on by Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Will Portacio, all that kind of stuff. They came back, and when they came back, Chris Claremont was writing Fantastic Four for a period of time. And here we have Fantastic Four issue number 11. Now, this is the first appearance and first cover of Aisha from the famous, was it New Edition song? Or what was that song? It was like singing about Aisha.
Another Bad Creation.
Yeah, another Bad Creation. There you go. No, I mean, even though her name is Aisha, she's actually a character. This is another version of the character formerly known as Her, Kismet, and Paragon. Can you believe this character's already at this point? But it's weird. This book it's like gone up in value. Yeah, I don't know. I can only put these books out there, and if someone knows something that we don't, you know, maybe you want to buy a very fine minus copy for only $5. Yeah, I saw this book selling for like $10, $12.
It's funny, that run of Fantastic Four, I feel like it's starting to kind of gain a little steam.
I think so.
That not the. No, because it was like a Jim Lee run and then somebody else.
Yeah. So the main Marvel Volume 1, it got canceled. I think it never made it to 500. I think it was somewhere in the 4, the Onslaught thing or what have you. And then it went over to Wildstorm, where Jim Lee was drawing the Fantastic Four. I think Brandon Choi was writing it and plotting it with Lee, and then Lee was drawing it. 13 issues. They all made it to 13, yeah. But like the last, like, it doesn't matter. And then when that ended, they came back over, and there was the Heroes Return. And I remember being very excited about it because I still really liked Claremont. But more importantly, the first 3 issues were illustrated by Alan Davis. And again, I think he's a good artist and everything like that. Not Alan Davis. Alan Davis was followed up by Salvador LaRocca. But I remember at the time, the Fantastic Four being like, I was like banging up against that art. Like I wasn't falling for it the way that I wanted to. But Al is right. It is a run that's become kind of hard to find. In fact,
we like never had, like we have the first
like 4 or 5 issues.
Yeah, if you're lucky, and then we definitely have the first issue.
Like,
right. You know, but the like I was pricing some out of the books Mike brought from Jersey. And it's like we just don't ever get them.
Yeah, we just don't really have them. And again, that run lasted, I think, up until like the 30s or 40s because, the Claremont. Yeah. Because right after Claremont is when Carlos Pacheco and Jeff Loeb took over the book. And that was a very famous kind of joke where I think Carlos Pacheco or Jeff Loeb both said they would do Fantastic Four and they would do it for $1 or something like that because they wanted to do it so badly. Actually, I really love that run. That's where they fought Diablo. I think and that's where Abraxas came in. Plus, I just love Pacheco's art, especially in the early 2000s. I was a big fan of his work. Still staying in that Chris Claremont run is issue number 15. And this is where the Fantastic Four fight the actual Heroes Reborn version of Iron Man. Now, this issue is considered the first appearance of Valeria Von Doom, who became a main character for most of Claremont's Fantastic Four run. She was an alternate reality teenage version of Valeria Richards, who at this time, actually, I think like Sue Storm had a miscarriage or she died in birth. So Valeria hadn't actually really appeared yet. Obviously, she's the main character now in Marvel Universe. But at the time, she was never born. So when Claremont brought an alternate reality teenage version of her, it was kind of a big deal for anyone who had been reading Fantastic Four for decades. So this is the first appearance of Valeria Von Doom, an alternate reality teenage version of Valeria Richards. And then we lead to the wedding of Sue Storm and Dr. Doom. This is issue number 27, still part of that Chris Claremont, Salvador LaRocca run. This is the marriage of Sue Storm and Dr. Doom. Spoiler, it's Reed Richards in disguise. You also get cameo appearances by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Chris Claremont, and many, many, many other Marvel creators. This is obviously Claremont's sort of homage and throwback to the very famous Fantastic Four annual where Reed and Sue were married and Jack and Stan were turned back at the door, quite upset. So this issue was a very fine minus at only $4. All right, so there's a couple of our Fantastic Fours, just having a little fun. And a little modern here is for anyone who missed out on this when it came out. This did sell out at the time, and we were lucky enough to get a copy back in. I don't know from where. I just found it, and I went, all right, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Let's just call it. This is Batgirls number 1, starring the Batgirl, 2 Batgirls. I mean, it's called Batgirls. It's plural. So this is the first full appearance of Seer and the first team appearance of the Saints. Assissus, Valentine, Tarsus, and Fido 5. I really hope that's like a mecha cyborg dog or something. Anyway, Batgirls number 1 by Becky Cloonan. This was a book that sold out when it originally came out, and I don't know, I stumbled upon it. So for anyone who missed out and has been looking for this, high-grade copy at only $5.
I'm pretty sure that was a subscription that they got picked up.
That makes sense.
I think they were going through this past week.
That usually when stuff that sells out and suddenly a few weeks later we have a copy of it, that's usually the case.
So thank you to that subscriber for not picking the books up.
Yeah. And here we have the very first DC Star Trek comic. At first, I thought that was a George Perez cover. I do not believe it is. But for a minute there, I was like, oh my God, a George Perez draw Star Trek? Right? Yeah, look it up. Because the signature, there is no signature. I don't see it anywhere. And sometimes he could hide it.
Maybe he signed it on the first page.
Oh, maybe. Anyway, I was actually surprised. This book's got some value. We went a little conservative with it. It's a very fine copy at $12. And I'm pretty sure the early issues, especially when you look at their outfits, I'm pretty sure that a lot of this is an adaptation of the original motion picture. I think they took elements from that story and kind of like, not a full adaptation, but they interweaved. Because what year did this was 84. So, at that point, Wrath of Khan had already come out. Who knows? Are there any Star Trek fans out there and you've been looking for this one? Here we go. We got it. Very fine. $12. The first DC Star Trek. Oh, yeah, Batgirls.
And you know what? We're actually just
break time?
on a break.
Okay, let's just do break time, and we'll come back, and we'll do some of these Marvel Treasuries and some of the big books, and then we'll move over to some Moon Knight. So see you on the other side.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, hello there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome, everybody. It's Fat Jack's Comicrypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Copas. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Gang Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey.
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody, welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectibles.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
It was insane. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Mr. Ebner, you got your back, girl. No problem.
All right, Mr. Ebner, how you been, buddy? Anyone been to the Philadelphia? For anyone who's not from this area who might be watching us right now, we just had the Fan Expo. I imagine that's over by now. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. Anyone have any interesting stories or?
Some of my creator friends were there.
Wait, who? What?
Some of my creator friends were there.
Oh, cool. All right.
They said it was really good. A lot of them were comparing it to the last time Reed did a show in Philadelphia, and it might as well have been a ghost town. They said this was the polar opposite. Like, they couldn't keep up. The people of Philadelphia really showed out.
I imagine, like, we actually, like, yesterday here at the shop, we were pretty busy because people would leave the con and they would just kind of like wander over here. And except for a couple people who were a little put off by the ticket prices to get in, and maybe a couple of the big signing prices. Most people seem to have a really positive experience. And I imagine, especially after the past couple years we've had, a lot of people were really looking forward to something like this.
How far is your shop from the convention center?
How far?
Like 3/4 of a mile, maybe?
Yeah, about.
Oh, so not an unwalkable distance.
No, maybe 10 blocks.
Not close, but not unwalkable.
Yeah, and it was a really nice day yesterday.
Like a 20-minute walk.
I think I walked farther than that to get the Bonchon last time I was in Philly. So, I mean,
probably, yeah.
Not that bad to go to a comic book shop.
No, you're right. I don't know if Mr. Chamberlain, Fred, is watching, but he was in town for the expo. Yeah. Admittedly, he only had the opportunity to stop at the shop on Thursday when you and I were not here. But Fred, if you're out there, sorry I missed you, man. Look forward to hanging out with you again.
A good number of customers guess you can volunteer and then you get free admission.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
John McGinley did that with Isaac.
Yeah.
You know, actually,
Mr. Freeze, who was here last week, he did it.
He did, yeah. Now, did he do that? Was he working with somebody, or was it just like a general, like you show up?
A general kind of, like he's a nerd wrangler.
A nerd wrangler. I like that.
It's a Mr. O-Ram original. Years
ago.
ago.
Yeah, but if anyone watching and you were able to experience the Fan Expo, I genuinely hope you had a wonderful time. And if you have any fun stories, we'd love to hear some interesting anecdotes.
Shoot in the chat.
Yeah, if anyone did anyone actually meet Frank Miller? There was one customer who came in and he was really excited he met him, but he's scared Frank's going to die anytime now. And I was like, all right, just calm down. He's like, I don't want Mr. Miller to die. All right, so real quick, Al did confirm this is a George Perez cover. So I just wanted to point that out. Al and I were right.
He did the first 3 covers of the DC 84 Star Trek series.
Cool. All right, so we kind of know what we're talking about sometimes, you know?
No turtles on for tonight's Star.
Yeah, no turtles. Sorry, man.
If you're interested in any turtles, you can email your list to the email ticker and
Actually,
check see what we
you
have.
know what? Hold on. I mean, if someone's looking...
He got it. We got
Well,
turtles.
no, I don't really... I have a couple consignment turtles.
Consignment turtles.
Why not just
somebody else's turtle?
Yeah, let me just throw them out real quick. I mean, maybe this interests you. We don't really have a lot. So, actually, we only really have 2 at the moment.
2 turtles.
So, this is from Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1986. This is issue 2. This is a very fine plus copy at $16. And then we have issue 3. This is a very fine copy at $12. So these are the 2 that I just know offhand that I had. So if they interest you, let us know. If not, no problem. We'll just put it back. So that said, let us finish off our big books here. So actually,
literally.
Yeah, very, very literally. For anyone who follows us on Instagram and stuff like that, thank you very much. They claimed and purchased a bunch of them that never made it to the show, like that really cool Savage Fists of Kung Fu, the Marvel Treasury edition, number, I think it was 7. That was the Conan the Barbarian. Oh, yeah. So for anyone who doesn't, let me just show this off real fast. This is a funny little story if you're not aware of it. Okay, so this issue reprints a bunch of the early Roy Thomas, John Buscema issues with Red Sonja. And one of those issues was issue number 24. And in issue number 24, the original art that Buscema did, because again, he's doing Conan the Barbarian. He thinks it's a mature book or what have you. So there is a scene where Red Sonja is bathing. Now, it isn't exploitative. Yeah, it's a little titillating or what have you, but it's not like straight up pornography or anything. But it's very obvious that Red Sonja is nude. And when John Buscema originally drew it, it is very obvious. You can see her nude figure. Something come up? Or
no, I was just reminding everybody of the giveaway claim.
Oh, right. Of course. Yeah. But we are in the midst of one of the most regressive things the comic industry has ever done, the Comic Code Authority. And so the original art had to be redrawn or like re-edited in some way to appease the Comic Code Authority. So when this Marvel Treasury edition came out with reprinting those original issues, and now again, Al and I, we don't know the exact legal reason, but we imagine these bigger books, they were considered something outside of the Comics Code Authority because
I think
they're bigger or magazine.
Format, like it's because Savage Tales. I mean, I know that's why Savage Tales is like Savage Sword.
And Deadly Hand of Kung Fu.
Those all got to kind of skate and have more.
Yeah, I mean, you had open drug use, you had flat out nudity, only female.
I mean, does it have the code on it?
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, they were published without the code. So some weird. So in that Marvel Treasury edition, the reprint of Conan number 24 has the original artwork of the nude Red Sonja. And I'm trying to say that in a way that sounds artistic and respectful. It's not just like, yay, Red Sonja's naked, woo! I just hate the Comic Code Authority, and anytime I can take an opportunity to poke at it, I'm going to take that opportunity.
I got one for the chat and for Kyle or anybody watching. Does anybody know anybody who ever worked for the Comics Code Authority? Like,
Yeah, I don't.
Who actually like stamped the books? Who was reviewing all those books? Like, I don't think it was a real thing. I think they just stamped the books.
Yeah, it feels
like,
that way, right?
Who could read? Who was reading all these books that we've never heard about any of these people? Just if anybody knows, I'm curious about the organization.
Yeah, and that thing lasted for what,
150 years.
Actually, I don't know off the top of my head. Does anyone remember when the Comics Code Authority officially stopped? Like, I know a couple companies stopped using it, stopped submitting the books. It was a slow process, but I'm curious, or if you want to get even weirder or deeper into it, what is the last book to be published with the Comics Code Authority?
I bet that's just like
yeah, sticker. Like, are these Moon Knights? Do they have the Comic Code Authority on it? Sticker? I don't see it.
The authority didn't end until 2011.
What?
Yeah. Now, most people weren't following it by then, but it still existed until 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, good for the publishers for finally wising up. That thing never should have existed. And it existed for all the wrong reasons. Yes, seduction of the innocent. F you, Frederick Wortham. And everybody who wanted EC Comics to go under because they were a bunch of jealous bastards because they were just doing great comics. Anyway.
Can I get that started?
Oh, yeah. All right.
Thank you, Mr. McKay.
Thanks, Mr. McKay. So that's a lot of just talking and stuff like that because this is what we have left. So I just wanted to show them off here. So this is Marvel Treasury Edition number 23. Now this one, it has the, it says by popular demand, the most famous Conan exploit of all. I don't know if that's true, but Conan on the Cross was a very famous Conan story. Also, the very first Conan newspaper comic strip adventure is reprinted in this book. And I don't know what it means by first time in color. I'm assuming that, because I mean, Conan had been in color. Is this... I should have. I looked it up. I was trying to research it. I couldn't figure out what it meant by first time in color. But it's a special collector's edition. Yay! It's a mid-grade copy.
The Treasury.
But that can't be true because this Marvel Treasury Edition, Mighty Avengers reprints, and all of the Avengers issue reprints are in color. So it has to do with some. Maybe there's some Savage Swords that are in here. Maybe that's it. Yeah, maybe there's a couple Savage Swords stories reprinted, or maybe the newspaper comic strip adventure that they're talking about. Maybe they colored that. Again, obviously Al and I don't know. So if anyone in the chat or Kyle, our epic producer, knows, we're open to hear. But anyway, this is a mid-grade copy at $9. And yeah, it's all Roy Thomas and John Buscema stuff, all that kind of. And then we have Marvel Treasury Edition number 7. Now this one, that is a Jack Kirby cover, and Kirby's doing his thing that I love, which is the everybody walks on air, or like Jack Kirby covers sometimes look like the photographer was like, all right, everybody, on the count of 3, jump up in the air. Because they're always just like walking in the air. Like some people are actually on the ground and other people are all just like up in the air. But still, you get a really cool Jack Kirby cover. But this is all of the issues that are reprinted in this Treasury edition are Roy Thomas and John Buscema Avengers issues. I believe the Hank Pym, Janet Pym wedding issue is in this. The issue 56, an issue where they fought Ultron, but again, not the Barry Windsor Smith issues. I think there's an issue from the 70s. Like, I actually thought it was going to be like 4 or 5 issues in a row, kind of like that Thor Treasury edition that I always talk about. It is not. It's 5 different Avengers issues, 1 or 2 from the 50s, 1 or 2 from the 60s, and 1 or 2 from the 70s. And when I say that, I'm not talking about decades. I'm talking about issue numbers. But anyway, Marvel Treasury Edition number 7, Mighty Avengers. This is a mid-grade copy of fine at $10.
So I did some research instead of helping you with your Conan thing because Zanin answered it.
Okay.
But the last 2 publishers to abide by the Comics Code Authority were Archie, which we knew, and DC.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. And DC held out, huh?
January 2011, DC announced that it would discontinue participation. By September of 2011, the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund had purchased the logo and all of that kind of stuff to basically make the Comics Code Authority merchandise.
Okay.
So,
all right. Very cool. And Zane, thank you very much for confirming what we were speculating about, that the first time in color in that Conan Treasury was Savage Sword Conan stories colored for the first time. So, who beats?
It's funny because on the last show, Mr. Line, there was a Lemmy biography comic that came out this previous week, and he said, "Do you have any copies?" So I grabbed one. And in the corner, it's got a rejected by the Comics Code Authority.
Dude, no, wait, hold on. Let me try to get it up close.
that's all the logo gets used for anymore, really, is parody and making fun of the code.
Because they deserve to be made fun of it.
I'm pretty sure that Red Room has
yeah, probably
disgusted by the Comics
Code
Authority.
They do.
So, they clown it too.
It's kind of like how people make fun of the Tipper Gore bowl from for the CDs, the parental advisory like sticker thing or what have you.
I don't know if you guys know this, but that whole sticker thing was agreed upon before those hearings ever happened.
Of course it was.
Yeah, the RIAA, an organization which I used to be a member of and hated every second of it, agreed to all that before like John Denver and Dee Snider and all those guys showed up to protest it.
Frank
Zappa. It was
Zappa.
already going to happen. Yeah, Frank Zappa. Dee and Frank, the story goes, were in the back room going, why the hell did they call us? Really? This is who they called?
Hey, mothers of invention, That's funny.
Mr. Wint, that's a nice little Kirby jump crouch.
The Kirby jump crouch. The same way you have the Kirby crackle,
I like
the Kirby jump crouch. Because man, it's on everything. I love it. It's such a Kirby staple, like trope. All right, next up. Now this is kind of neat. I've never seen this before. So back in like the early 90s, now at this point it was Andy Kubert. This is not Jim Lee. It's not like the Jim Lee poster portfolio that we had last week. But this is, it's called the X-Men Placards. You get a Cyclops, a Gambit, Magneto, Storm, Wolverine, Sentinels, team photo, or the class photo. It presents, I love how they say this. Marvel Comics presents friends, teammates, enemies, heroes, mutants, villains, X-Men.
What else can we add?
So these sizzling 11 by 14 illustrations capture the explosive adventures of all of these different characters, the blue and gold teams. So it's 8 full-color mountable placards highlighting art. Okay, this makes sense. Highlighting artwork from the X-Men Series 2 trading cards. These placards present all the excitement that has made the X-Men the #1 smash hit Saturday morning cartoon and the most popular ongoing comic book series in history. This is original. It's never been opened, even though there's some yellowing. Actually, no, it has been opened.
Wide open.
Actually, no. Okay. It was just ripped. Yeah. So it's actually never truly been opened or taken out of the plastic, but this is torn right here, and there's some yellowing on the plastic, but the placards themselves look really nice. And we're going to sell it for its original retail price at $9.95. But more importantly, if you decide to purchase these X-Men placards, we are going to give you for free this little thing that showed up in a bunch of comic book shops back in 1992. This is the hologram connecting covers. So all of the X-Men #1 covers that all connected together, that is this, but in a hologram. And it was Marvel's thanks for making X-Men #1 the best-selling comic of all time. And Marvel wants to thank you for your support and making it an outstanding success. Now, I imagine most of you cannot see the hologram, but again, it's X-Men #1, and it's all the covers connected as a hologram. And that's it. But it's a little incentive. If you decide to purchase these placards, you'll get this sweet little thank you. Oh, we're going.
Thank you, Mr. Ebner.
All right, Mr. Ebner. Cool. Little 90s nostalgia there. For anyone who's not aware, I believe it's this week. The new X-Men book that is the 1992 team is coming out. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you want to check the list just to make sure I'm not completely talking out my butt. It's not this week?
Oh, is that X-Men 92?
Yeah, it's like House of 92.
House of XCII. Is that?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Why is that a different publisher?
Oh, yeah, the distributor. Right. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, for anyone who's curious, because that's why the X-Men Adventures #1 book has gone up in value. Marvel wants to bring back the 92 cartoon era kind of characters. Because again, I'm going to repeat myself. We are in the beginning throes of full-on 90s nostalgia. That is what is going to define this decade outside of whatever human atrocities we do to each other. Okay. Next up, and we didn't go fully into it, but we can hint.
We didn't bring it.
Yeah. We're being pretty.
We're just running along.
Yeah, we're being chill.
What's going on?
Yeah. They only cursed once, and that was sort of the end of the local show, and I was, yeah. And it was like the poopy curse word. It wasn't an F-bomb. Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure when Mike had an issue, it was just like, you dudes say the F word every 5th word.
It's nice of everyone to say that. It's an issue with me and me dropping the F word out every 2 minutes.
And you and I usually say it more often than not in anger.
Frustration about something.
While talking about something that probably is already uncomfortable.
Nobody wants to hear this.
All right, next up, we have now, this is a good, all right? So the condition of this is good because the outer cover is missing. But this is a really cool, I'm not exactly positive. I should have done a teeny bit more research. I got kind of caught up with some work, and again, we were pretty busy yesterday. So I'm not exactly positive the year that this, I'm going to call it a Treasury size, even though it is not referred to as a DC Treasury or anything like that. That was a Marvel.
They did like just a handful of them.
Yeah, something like that. But this is a complete reprint of Action Comics #1, without any ads though. And it says, I think it does have some of the ads because it says, as originally published in 1939. Now, this is my favorite thing. So this is something, if you want to be a sleuth, you can figure out without actually looking up when it, like just straight up looking it up. What year was this oversized reprint published? Because they say here, the 10-cent comic now valued today at $3,000. I think this is like the 60s?
No.
70s?
It's got to be like
mid-70s? Like Action Comics #1 valued at only $3,000?
I mean,
and it's really cool.
I'm going to say, because, I mean, in the 70s, it would have only been 20, 30 years old. Like, so it's
that's a great point.
It's not going to be crazy.
How about this?
Still,
do you think it's pre-Superman the movie? Or do you think it came out around Superman the movie? More kind of as...
When was Superman the movie?
77.
77?
I think 77. 78, 77?
I'm going to say 76.
Okay.
I'm going with 76.
Okay. All right. That's fun.
Thanks, Zanin.
Zanin beat us to it. You got it. So it probably Zany. It was probably like it's like almost like a promotion for.
So 78. Yeah, no, he said for the movie.
For the movie.
And then that was the whole thing about. Oh yeah, did you work $3,000?
Not anymore. More like $3 million.
So 39. Yeah, okay.
All right, very cool. All right. So it was almost the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, nice.
Oh yeah, and you get the Detective Comics ad.
Yeah, you get the ads and everything. So yeah, it is. It's actually like how they do the facsimile editions now, where it's a complete. The only difference is usually the cover price.
Except for the ads are for handguns.
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
It's all BB guns and like replica pistols.
It was organized crime, just laundering money through, Oh, how much for? Okay. So now let's slide over to our Moon Knights. We got to prioritize the chat. Okay, so let's just run through these Moon Knights.
So it's Superman #1. It's not Action Comics.
Oh, it isn't?
No, it's Superman.
Why do they use the cover to Action? Oh my God, you're right. Oh, I'm such an idiot.
Action's the one he's holding.
Yeah, you're right. The holding. No, he's
swinging through the
air. That's.
And the Fantastic Four looking up at him.
I think it's also the one where Superman's punching Hitler. All right, cool. All right, so what we have over here is Mark Spector, Moon Knight. So let's just run through what we got. We do not have #1, so let's get that off the board. And #4 has already been claimed. That's the first appearance of Midnight. So first up, we have Mark Spector, Moon Knight, #2. And Marvel, obviously, you can tell, didn't have a lot of faith in the book because in issue 2, Spider-Man is already guest starring. Now, I did not grade these books, but I think they're all around very fine plus to like very fine near mid, okay? So this one's $6. And then we have issue 3, Showdown in Africa. I can't believe Moon Knight's already fighting like African, it's very racial. Yeah, late 80s Marvel, man. What are they thinking? Anyway, Mark Spector, Moon Knight, #3. This is $6. And then we have the second appearance of Midnight Swim with the. Oh, but this is also a guest appearance with Black Cat, and it's a newsstand edition. This is Mark Spector, #5, $10. And then we got Brother Voodoo comes to town. I'm telling you, Brother Voodoo is going to be big in a couple years. This is Mark Spector, #6, $6, and newsstand. And this was a period where that's starting to become more important. Late 80s, early 90s. Mark Spector, Zombie Saturday Night. There you go. $6.
I feel like he should have been in Africa the whole time. Like, it just, yeah. I mean, Mr. Hunter made a good point about he's an avatar of an Egyptian god. Why did it take him so long? But like, why? He should be based in Cairo.
That's actually a really good point. And I'm going to give the Moon Knight TV show a lot of credit for that. When I heard the term, think Indiana Jones mixed with Fight Club. And Fight Club is obviously the whole thing where it's like multiple personalities and all that kind of stuff. But the Indiana Jones thing, I get because they filmed a lot in Egypt. In fact, the director, who is Egyptian, he was very upset at Wonder Woman 1984. Because at one point, she goes to Egypt, and it looks like it's just desert. Desert with like a couple huts. And so as a man of Egyptian descent, he was quite upset. And when he had the opportunity to do a character who was connected to all these Egyptian gods, Marvel and Disney, because they have the big pockets, allowed him to film some exteriors in Egypt. And I got to tell you, looks good. And it looks like they're going to really delve more into Moon Knight's relationship, not only with Egyptian culture, but with the country itself. So that's pretty cool. All right, so next up is Mark Spector, #8, and we are now in the Acts of Vengeance event. So this would have been 1989. And I guess Moon Knight and Punisher never fought before, because the whole point of the Acts of Vengeance was the character fight somebody that never fought before. So here we go, Moon Knight and Punisher at each other's throats, one with, really sharp crescent moons and another guy with an AR-15. So I wonder who's going to win. Anyway, issue #8, $6. But it's okay because, like all superheroes do, now they're buddies. Issue number 9, side by side with the Punisher against the forces of Ultimatum. Now this is a $6 book. Someone looking for something in particular? Or?
No.
Okay, just that book. Got it. Next up, issue number 11, the first appearance of Arsenal. Who's Arsenal? Who cares? But if it means anything, Moon Knight has a bow and arrow suddenly. This is like one of my favorite things about Moon Knight at one point. They were like, what are more toys we can give him? Like, now he's got a bow staff. Now he has nunchucks. Now he's...
Gives him crescent throwing.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't have swords more often. This is Mark Spector, number 11, $6. The Bushman is back. Fighting Arsenal. There you go. Mark Spector, number 12, $6. Newsstand. All right, number 13. Bushman is still being his problematic self. On the run from Bushman. Hey, he's still got his bow and arrow. Man, Moon Knight really had bow and arrow fetish for a period of time. This is $6. Number 14, the final battle with Bushman. If you thought I was joking about how problematic, look at that dude. There we go. I think Marvel writers took the wrong lessons from, The Gods Are Crazy. Yeah. By the way, I love that movie. That first movie, oh, so good. I used to catch it on HBO like all the time.
When was the last time you saw it? When was the last time you saw it like as an option?
2005, I think like when Netflix only sent discs. Yeah, I was in a mood, and now the sequel is not good, and the sequel I would actually say is a little insensitive. Yeah, if you've never seen it, you're better off for it. In fact, I understand that the original was such a surprise hit. I get why they made a sequel, but when you see it, you're like, shouldn't have done it. Well, it was like they didn't fully understand why people liked the original. Like it really did have a sweetness to it, and it never treated the tribesmen and stuff as a joke, even though there was so much humor about it and everything. Really, if anything, it made fun of American 80s culture. All right, so Moon Knight number 14, we're the final battle with Bushman. No, don't make that terrible joke. I've heard a lot of dudes in a bar call themselves Bushman, and it's not what you think. This is $6.
Nowadays, they go home alone.
Yeah, they go cry in a bush. Next up, we have the 4-part Trial of Mark Spector storyline from issue 15 through 18. So here we go. Oh, and we get Silver Sable shows up, and Paladin shows up, and Spider-Man shows up. No, or is it? No, they actually call these characters guest starring Spider-Man's Silver Sable, Sandman, and Paladin. Again, this is such editor stuff. $6. Part 2 of the trial. Mark Spector, we accuse you of murder. $6. Number 17. No matter what the jury decides, the secret empire demands it. And guess what? Moon Knight went from a bow and arrow to a crossbow. There you go. He's really moving up in the world. $6. And the final part of the trial of Mark Spector, issue 18, Newsstand. In fact, most of these are actually, I think, Newsstand. It's $5. And then issue 19. Does it get more 90s than this? They have to first tell you.
I remember that cover.
Oh, yeah, we all do. They have to first tell you that Wolverine does not appear in this comic book. Because when you see Spider-Man on it and the Punisher on it with Moon Knight, illustrated by the 90s of 90s artist, Rob Jonathan Liefeld. I have no idea if that's his name. I imagine a lot of you recognize this cover, especially if you were a kid or teenager, even if you were an adult. Even though, I don't know, we're adults into Rob Life. We're grown men being like, yeah, that's the way art should look. Anyway, Mark Spector, Moon Knight, number 19, $5. Now, I don't know who drew the cover of issue 20 because we don't have it, but at least with issue 21, we get an artist I actually like, Dennis Cohen, number 21. Again, Newsstand, $5. My favorite part is on both of these covers, Moon Knight, whose book it is always standing behind everybody. So funny.
He's full about whatever cover.
Yeah, he is. Next up, issue number 22. We still have some really cool, more Dennis Cohen covers. He did a lot of the covers from this point forward. Well, I shouldn't say he did a good amount of covers from this point forward. And we get the first appearance of Chainsaw, not to be confused with Machete. Real quick, did I overhear, was Danny Trejo at the Fan Expo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think he was either at this one or he was at the last one.
Okay.
Because he was telling me about the difference. But yeah, he met Danny Trejo.
Cool.
And he's like, this tall.
Yeah, he's really short.
I had no idea.
Which is why he was probably such a badass.
Oh, I would not.
No, dude. What was the movie he was brought on as a consultant for criminals and people in prison? And then that's how his acting career started.
American B?
I don't know. It might have been a Walter Hill movie. No, maybe. Oh!
I mean, because he was in.
It's from like the.
one.
No. He was like legit. I think he had just gotten out, and they got him as a consultant for a movie, and then he was so likable, and he had such a look. Yeah, it might be. If anyone knows, and actually, just out of curiosity,
Spy Kids.
Yeah, that was the movie. Does anyone remember the film debut of Danny Trejo? In the same way that The Long Goodbye is technically the film debut of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Predates the Hercules movie. Anyway, issue 22, only $3.50. And then with issue 23, not only does Moon Knight, but the rest of us get up close and personal to Chainsaw. There we go. That's another $3.50 book.
What are they named? What is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's his power?
I don't know. Is he wearing a ghoul mask?
He's Ash with a mask on.
With like a Eddie Van Halen perm? Like, what is going on? By the way, never, ever, ever fight a man with a perm. That man, and I'm talking nowadays, okay? I'm not talking like back in the 80s and stuff. Just don't, if there's a dude with a perm who wants to fight you, just walk away, okay? Just promise me you'll walk away. Next up, Mark Spector. Now we skip ahead a little bit. Now this is Bill Sienkiewicz. This was there was a storyline called the Scarlet Redemption, where Stained Glass Scarlet, who was a villain introduced in the Doug Munch, Bill Sienkiewicz early 80s run of Moon Knight. This was the storyline where she was brought back, and during the storyline, Bill Sienkiewicz came back to draw some covers. So this is issue 30, and it's $4. And then, because again, can't be the 90s without black-suited Spider-Man and Hobgoblin. There you go. Mark Spector, number 33. $5. Now, what do you think Moon Knight and Spider-Man are doing to the Hobgoblin? He looks like he's not having a good time at the sleepover, that's for sure. All right. And then, because they can't help themselves, the Punisher comes back. So here's issue 36 where the Punisher shoots Moon Knight's title. Because that's normal.
I mean, that's a scattered looking Punisher.
He looks like he maybe blew up a meth house and inhaled a little too much. This was the Blood Brothers storyline, the 4-part story. And if you think I know what happens, then you don't understand that I obviously stopped reading Moon Knight by this point.
I'm seeing words in the air.
I can't. What? Don't they know I can't read? How dare they embarrass me? Boom, 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 boom. Hey, people have been shot for less. Okay. This is a $7 book.
Really? It's a bunch. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Punisher appears.
Yeah.
Punisher.
And then we have issue 38. This is the final part of the Blood Brothers storyline. I think that is an early Ron Garney cover.
Really?
Yeah, like real early. Yeah, like that was it was the beginning of his career, I guess. So issue 38, only $3. All right. So those are the Mark Spectors we have up here. I do have another chunk, but we'll get back to that. I imagine
it's just about break.
Oh, it's break time?
We'll hit a break and then we'll come back and finish up what we did.
All right, cool beans. Let's do that.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Welcome back, everybody.
What's up? I'm just putting out the last of the Mark Spectors that we have up here.
Mr. Kieran, you got your Moon Knight 36. To anybody interested, we do have, I think, a total of like 35, 40 Mark Spectors going up. And if you wanted to grab all of them, we do them for like $140 around there. If that works, just hit us back. That's about 25, 30% off of the face value. So let us know if you're interested. Mark Spector's hot right now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it's also less number 36, so.
All right. Is that a newsstand? No, it's not. Oh, wow. I thought he was going to jump at that.
When he can be.
Okay, so while whoever thinks about if they want to take everything that we have, let us know.
140 all of Mark Spectors, just so everybody knows, and you're entered in the contest.
Yeah. And again, that's 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 30, 33, 38, and then we have, 37. I kind of put it out of order. My bad. So it's still part of the Blood Brothers storyline, which I think at some point, wait, something's about to happen. Where are my notes? Where Richard Spector's brother shows up. Shoot, where are my dang notes? Dang. Oh, yeah, there it numbers. Okay. We did number 4. Oh, it's issue 36, which is the one that Jason. Randall's Spectre becomes Shadow Knight. Issue 37 is the origin. That's why it was $7. Issue 37 is the origin of Shadow Knight. And then, okay, so then we get into issue 39, $4. Oh, Doom's back, and Moon Knight now has some new armor. This is issue 40, Impending Doom. How excited do you think they got when they came up with that pun? They're like, oh my God, it's gonna be just the best. I mean, let's see. Yeah, can our hero's new armor save him from? Oh yeah, if you're curious where the first appearance of his armor is, it's this issue. I forgot to mention that. It's the debut of Moon Knight's armor. Yeah. And then we're going to get into the Infinity War crossovers. Here we go. Battle for the Fate of Franklin Richards. Wow. All right. This is issue number 41. Moon Knight versus Moonshade. All right. $5. And then Moonshade menaces the multiverse. All right. Issue 42. Part of the Infinity War crossover, obviously. $4. And then, wow, man, Moon Knight had a lot of Infinity War. And in fact, I think Infinity War and Infinity Crusade were just insane in regards to the tie-in books. Moon Knight faces off against a bunch of teeth demons. Issue 43, $3.50. And then we got issue 44. That's another $3.50, and you find out that Moon Knight is Spawn, pretty much.
So thank you to Tom. He's going to take all the Moon Knights.
Oh.
Tom, if you can email the show email that's ticking on the bottom of the screen periodically, and I'll get you an invoice out this week. We'll figure out shipping wherever you are.
Awesome. Well,
shipping's going to be a little more than $7, but we'll work with you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, man. We really appreciate it. But, just for the sake of, again, they're all gone. So I just want to point out, this was a cool one. This is issue 50 with the die-cut cover where Moon Knight burns his bra. I mean his Avengers membership card because he quit the team. That one's been going up. Some of these later Moon Knights are starting to go up in some value here. I don't know who Silver is, but he looks like he runs around with rabid dogs. And then you get, this was a weird storyline where, and some of these have some real value, especially this issue because of this cover. This was a storyline where Moon Knight and Gambit team up with Werewolf by Night. Strange team up, But there we go. Okay, so let's just take all these so no one gets teased. So excuse me a moment. Takes a little bit to thank you very much. It was Tom.
Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We were very fortunate. We got a recent collection, and because we were cleaned out, we didn't have anything of the Mark Spector Moon Knights really anymore, and we got lucky, and so it looks like someone else is gonna get lucky. Yeah, there you go. So here, Al. Yeah, I know, right? This is clean sweep. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't think this has ever happened before. It's the first time for us.
It was the first time we sold 40 issues of Moon Knight at once.
There we go. So now I'm gonna go grab. Let's
good night, everybody.
Let's do some Wolverines from a fun little run of Wolverine here. So I apologize for the dead air, sort of. But let me put these out here so we can take a look. So this is all from sort of the teens up until the 40s of the late 80s, early 90s Wolverine series. You got some John Buscema art, and then later you got some John Byrne, and then into the Mark Silvestri era.
Tom, you can check out, there is an Instagram page and a Facebook page for the shop. The Instagram is @the FJC Paradox. On the screen there, you can contact this guy directly. or you can go through the email, contact me, or there's other ways.
Either way, we'll work it out, man.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, follow us on Instagram. And if everybody could remember to like and subscribe to this right now, it'll help Kyle out.
Yeah. And as always, we appreciate everyone who's hanging out with us, supporting us, all that kind of stuff.
Did we not finish the big one?
No, we did not. So before I get to the Wolverines, I just want the Wolverines to sort of permeate a little bit, kind of ease people in. You can start recognizing some of these really cool covers. But before we get to the Wolverines, I do want to finish with some of our big books up here. We talked about that big, from 1978, reprint of Superman number 1. I was wrong. I kept calling it Action Comics. It obviously is not. But the other one we have, also from the late 70s, part of the DC Special series, I guess their version of the Marvel Treasury editions. This is Superman and his incredible Fortress of Solitude. This is an oversized tour of the Fortress of Solitude and all of the weird, unique aspects and anecdotes and stories all connected to Superman's home away from home, the Fortress of Solitude. Now, this is a very good plus copy, primarily because you got a few creases. It's definitely aged. There's stress along the spine. The pages inside are a bit yellowed, but it's only $8, so it's indicative of its condition. This is a book I was surprised. Sometimes can go in that upwards to like $30, $50 range. So, you know, it's a unique book, and I imagine it has been reprinted many times. That's for sure. And then also part of the Marvel Treasury editions is this Rampaging Hulk. This was a fun one with MODOK. You got the Harpy, Wolverine, and Hercules show up. Most of these, you think it's like a fine plus?
Yeah. I got that just because we got a few of those. I think that's the last one.
Oh, it's the last one we got. That's right. A fine plus at only $12. Now, again, this is a Marvel Treasury edition, but it reprints stories from the Rampaging Hulk magazine. So I just want to be clear about that. It's technically called Marvel Treasury edition number 26. Now, real quick, I'm going to show this one off. We've had this one before. I imagine most of you are very familiar. This was back in was this the mid or late 90s? 1999. Yeah. Proceeds from the sale of the original art for this book will be donated to charity. That's pretty cool. But this was that series that Alex Ross did after the success of Marvels and Kingdom Come, where they started to put out these oversized original graphic novels, for lack of a better term, pertaining to Superman with peace. I think the Batman one was justice, and I think there was a Wonder Woman one.
Shazam one.
Oh, there was a Shazam one. That's right. Yeah. Now we're selling these for their cover price, so it's just $9.95. So there's that one. This is the Superman Peace one, which was the first one that Alex Ross did. Oh yeah, there it is. And then they did the Shazam one, Power of Hope. There we go. Oh no, the Batman one was War on Crime. There you go. And Superman was called Peace on Earth. Yeah, Peace on Earth. Okay, so it wasn't just one word.
So it's a Christmas book.
Yeah, it's a Christmas book, right? Again, these are, original retail price, $9.95. And then one that I actually forgot existed until Mike dropped this on my desk. It is the Dan Jurgens Art Thibaert written and illustrated team up between Superman and the Fantastic Four. But I imagine most of you recognize this is Dan Jurgens pencils painted by Alex Ross. So now what year did this get actually released? 1999. So it was just, he was really, oh, look at that. That's a big old Galactus head. Galactus, So Superman and the Fantastic Four versus Galactus. There we go. Oh, you even get the evil Superman, the cyborg Superman.
Kieran, it's an oversized reprint of Superman #1 with the cover sliced. The title is sliced off. It's good at $5.
Yeah, it's only $5, but it's a beautiful piece. And this one, Superman teaming up with the Fantastic Four to take on Cyborg Superman, who's the new herald of Galactus. Only $10.
Tom, thank you for reaching out to the Instagram. You're probably going to want to just email because you're just going to end up having to email me anyway. So just when you get a chance, man, thank you.
Yeah, sorry to make it complicated. We're not very good at this.
No, it's one branch and the other branch, and he's just going to end up texting me and be like, yo, you need to deal with this.
I kind of do. It's funny because like sometimes people hit me up on Instagram and they're like, yo, I want to buy that book. I'm like, great. Email this and talk to Al. He'll handle the rest.
He's got enough getting all these books together and pricing them and writing all this stuff down so he can talk to you for 4 hours.
Right.
I get to just type on the computer and package everything.
So the joke is that I run the race and I take us all up to the finish line, and then I go, now Al, you deal with the rest.
That's what I do. I sweep in at the end, like at the end of where did I decide that was from? Rocky and Bullwinkle.
There you go, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yep. We were talking about, that's right, that's what we were talking about last week. That's right. That's funny.
Thank you, Mr. Ebner. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Thank you, Mr. Kiernan. Zanin, I'm sorry, it got claimed already. It's cover price, $10, $15.
That's like 10.
$9.95.
$9.95, right.
It's claimed, I'm sorry.
Cool.
Anything else?
Well, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate that. That was a nice little run of books. And it looks like it's books that we don't have to ship. They're from customers.
It's pretty much everybody.
Because some of those
shit. So all right. So the portfolio, it's not exorbitant to ship the portfolio.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Saying that, it's only getting shipped to New York.
Okay.
So I don't know, but
I applaud you. You did a really good job packing it.
Oh man, I packed the hell out of it.
Did you like Frankenstein that thing?
It took me quite a while
because I saw it back there,
and I got it just right. And then I went. The post office was closed. I was like, all right, I'll go back the next day. And I came in and everything had split open.
Oh.
So I had to go through it. It looks like it held up now.
Oh, good. Well, at least you got a good like.
It's been a couple days of it sitting back there, and it hasn't.
It looked like everything was good.
That first day, everything was just
like. Oh, that sucks. Oh.
But really, I just wanted to get price.
No, yeah. Because again, we haven't done a ton of shipping as a shop, but obviously that's kind of the future. And what's the point of this live stream? We're trying to, grow, more consumer base and customers and audience and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to ship more stuff, and so we're learning as much as anything.
Shout out to Miss Jasmine from Post Office because she's a delight.
Nice. There you go. And yes, Jason is Boris and Natasha. Who do you think is Rocky and Bullwinkle in this little duo?
No, Kyle's Boris.
Oh, Kyle is Boris.
Jason is Natasha.
Yes, Jason is Natasha, and he looks very cute in that dress.
Rocky.
Yeah. I think maybe you're more of a Rocky. Kind of
that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Straight up. When we were setting up for this, people like to park in the street because that's what you do now. It's a one lane and people stop. People just leaning on the horn. This dude strolls out of Shake Shack. They were like, "You can't do this, man." He was like, "Talk to them." They were like, "You can't just leave your car in the street." Talk to them. He just kept saying, "Talk to them." Opened his car up. The radio was playing. He like left. Everything was crazy.
He was like running. The car was like running.
The car was running in the middle of the street.
Damn. That's crazy. My favorite, I maybe brought this up before in the show, is when they beep at the trash truck guys. And guess what happens?
Yeah.
You could pretty much guess. The trash truck guys start to saunter and slow walking. They're in no rush. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what do you think the trash truck guys are going to do? They're like, oh, yeah, so sorry, buddy. Oh, we'll go around the block and we'll come back around and pick them up. Yeah, I didn't mean to hold you up. God, man, what a thankless job. And yet, like, do you remember that period in Philly during some of the lockdowns where, like, they didn't pick up trash for, 3 weeks in a row? And
we couldn't get people to...
Yeah, it was the labor shortage. It was an issue. So, man, Thank your trash pickup. Man. That's a thankless job.
There's a bunch of Instagram, Philly trash guys that like started Instagram pages because of COVID and how they were like underfunded and didn't have proper. You know what I'm saying? They host like cleanup days around the city and stuff.
There was a viral graffiti going around in Philly, especially during that period, where they were like, "Pay the trash men, F the admin," and the F was an actual word.
We don't say that on here.
And I gotta be honest, I got a real kick out of that. I was like, yeah, that is true. We should, okay, so cool. We ran through all of our big books. So again, if anyone is curious about these top rows up here, let us know. We got a couple big keys up there. First appearance of Firestorm. First appearance of Ares, the Marvel version of the Greek character. First appearance of the War Machine armor. We got the Death of Barry Allen, Death of Supergirl. First appearance of Blood Syndicate. If anyone's curious, we'll talk about those.
Kyle hit Zane is Mr. Peabody.
Ooh, I like it. All right, cool beans. Got a whole crew here, man. Yeah. At some point, we got to figure out who we all are in the Hanna-Barbera universe. That'd be fun. Yeah, let's think about that one for a while.
That's super.
Yeah. Okay, so again, if there are any other priorities, because like I've always said, if anyone, we prioritize the chat, so if you want to move things along or you're curious about something I'm not talking about, let us know. Until then, we're going to just talk about some of these Wolverine comics from 1989 up until, I think, 1991. All right, so first up, and we have a good run of these now. There's a couple Wolverine comics from the mid-20s that have a lot of value, but that's primarily because they had these very iconic Jim Lee Wolverine covers, and that was around at the same time he was transitioning from Uncanny X-Men into the second X-Men series. So Jim Lee was one of, if not the hottest comic book artist from like 1989 to like 1991. I mean, I think the only other person who could maybe compete with him was like Todd McFarlane. Sorry, Rob Liefeld. Sorry, Will Spertasio. Sorry, Jim Valentino, and all the rest of the Image guys. When it came to 89 and 91, it was a toss-up. It was a knockdown slobber knocker between Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee. But the cover artist that we're going to talk about first is Kevin Nolan. Now, I won't deny the fact that when I was 10 years old, I was very confused by this storyline. A lot of really cool John Buscema art, inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. But it was it got like all these like monsters. It was like, it's called the Gehenna Stone Affair, some mystical thing that is not Morbius, so don't get too excited. But it was I grew to have an appreciation for this storyline later, like more in my like late teens, early 20s. But when I was a kid, he wasn't dressed up in his costume enough, which I was really annoyed by. But here we go. Let's go. Wolverine number 11, part 1 of 6 of the Gehenna Stone Affair. This is a very fine plus copy at $7. They got number 12, part 2. Again, let's just take a quick moment when I hold these up. Like Kevin Nolan, I don't know if he gets his just deserves enough. He's a great artist. Like in terms of aesthetics and composition, and chiaroscuro as the art term is. This dude is like, he's a real artist, not just a comic book like illustrator. Like this dude's great.
I for sure didn't appreciate him as a kid.
No, not as a kid.
I was like, I don't like this art. It's weird. Like it was.
It was like weird.
It was like, but it was the same. It's the same as like in the same way as like Nolan.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of less is more. And
yes.
I don't know. It's just I look at it now. I love.
I mean, the use of negative space, like it's all this stuff that I wouldn't fully have an appreciation for till probably art school, where suddenly they're like, here's this, and you're like, whoa, that does make a difference. Oh, not everything is a pinup drawing. I'm not naming names. By the way, we have any more Youngblood trading cards to give away? So anyway, this is a very fine copy. It's $6. And issue 13, part 3. There you go. That's a very fine plus. It's $7. Part 14, he's finally wearing the costume. And yes, sorry to say, this is my favorite Wolverine costume, the brown and tan one. This is a very fine plus at $7. And then the penultimate chapter of the Gehenna Stone Affair, issue 15, very fine plus, $7. And the final act of this storyline, and another great Kevin Nolan cover, issue 16, very fine, $6. And now, and again, we've definitely had some of these issues before, but in 1989, as a 10-year-old Brendan, this was my favorite Wolverine story arc. I love this story. So Wolverine washes up on this fake South American country, run by a not Castro, let's call it. And there's a bunch of ex-Nazi scientists who are now cyborgs. You have mutated sort of mercenaries. But more importantly, you get the first appearance of, not only does it make you feel confident, make you feel like you're popular, but it might give you superpowers, and I'm talking about superpower cocaine. That's right. This is the issue. At 10 years old, I'm like, wow, cocaine is really powerful. This dude literally turned into a spore monster.
I think more than the Anacenti Daredevil. These Wolverines.
These are grimy. And, yeah, probably. Written by Archie Goodwin, but illustrated. Now, this is a cool combo, and I don't know if this combo has ever been done before in terms of this artist and this inker. John Byrne did the pencils, and Klaus Janson did the inks. And it is such an interesting mix of styles. Now, the first part of this 6-part story is a very iconic cover, which is the reason why this book can sometimes get up into the $20, $25 range. So this is Wolverine number 17. Now, our copy is a very fine plus, and I couldn't help myself. I made it $13. There you go. That is, again, I imagine most of you immediately recognize that image. Very iconic cover from 1989. And now we get into a man who did way too much super cocaine, Roughhouse. No, I don't think he rips Wolverine's throat out. That's a Patrick Swayze move. By the way, a few months ago, I rewatched Roughhouse.
Yeah, me too.
God, that movie is so good.
I watched it not last week, before last.
Yeah.
I rewatched it. Yeah,
it's
been a while.
I didn't appreciate it enough growing up, but when you and ORAM were really talking about it, I was like, man, maybe I don't remember it the way. And then I think he lent me his DVD, and I fell in. That was God, it was over a decade ago.
You were like, oh man, Sam Elliott's pubes right there.
They are, man. But just,
you see, Mr. Kiernan doesn't understand movies.
And again, let's be honest, the greatest barn loft apartment of all time.
Amazing. It was free.
Yes.
You didn't pay rent.
And he would do all the Zen meditation, all the Tai Chi.
Is David Bowie's pants from Labyrinth.
Oh my God, yes! And the whole thing, I love the whole concept where he goes out to his car and it's this beat up car because everyone beats it up. But then he goes to his storage unit and he pulls out some Porsche or Lamborghini.
Is he buys a beater in
Yes.
every city he goes to help out being a bastard?
Yeah, because everyone goes out and beats up his car. And that movie. And again, I'm not kidding. He literally rips a dude's throat out.
Oh no.
He grabs the dude's throat and rips it.
I'm not going to say the line the guy says
Yes.
beforehand because it's
It is, man. It's pure pulp. It's
vicious. Hey, Duke, you were a bouncer. You know.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where it's an acquired taste. If it doesn't hit you the right way, I can't try to convince you.
And your name is Kieran.
Anyway, Wolverine number 18, very fine plus, $7. Wrath of the Roadhouse. And now, here's where this storyline really blew it up for me. I look back now and I realize 89 and being 10 was when my love of comics and my comic collection went to the obsessive level. It's where I took the real big leap into it all. And the Acts of Vengeance storyline was such a big deal for me because it was so unique and cool, and it was mostly built around people fighting. And when you're a kid, if there's not enough fighting in a comic, you felt like you got cheated. And Wolverine fights, and Dave Proch, if you're out there, I know the biggest fan of this villain is definitely our boy Dave Proch, and check him out on Instagram. His paintings, especially of all of the great hip-hop artists and stuff, Dave, I know you're not watching, but if you were, man, watching you develop as an artist over the past 15 years, I'm so impressed, and you make me so ashamed that I've allowed a lot of baloney get in the way of my own, art stuff. But his love of Tiger Shark is next level. And as a kid, man, I love Tiger Shark, and I love these 2 issues. So here we are, the 2 issues of the Acts of Vengeance storyline that occurred during this weird South American road trip of Wolverine. This is where Wolverine fights Tiger Shark. And again, look at John Byrne's art with that beautiful, thick Klaus Janson inking style. I mean, it looks like these 2 dudes are going to eat you. I mean, it's so badass. So this is issue number 19. This is a very fine plus. It's $7. And if you thought the Tiger Shark took care of Wolverine, don't worry, because this cover is a spoiler. But again, classic cover. Like, it's just such a cool cover.
Honestly, it makes me want to read Wolverine.
Right?
Just because I haven't seen a lot of these covers
in so long, I know. Oh, they introduced this character. I don't think she ever showed up ever again. And she has a really weird name, like El Barado or something like that. It's such a.
No, she's in the new Moon Knight show.
Oh my God! We have her first appearance. It's issue number 18. So here we go. The final part of the fight between. Now this one is actually funny because this cover is not inked by Klaus Janson. This is a John Byrne, and so that you can tell a slight difference. Yeah, he inked himself on this one. Yeah. Why the Klaus Janson absolutely inked that other one, and then every other cover, and you can definitely tell the difference. But again, love 80s Byrne, no matter what. Very fine plus, $7. If anything else, these 2 issues are worth it.
I get both the Tiger.
Yeah.
Tiger Sharks.
Of course, man. I knew somebody, man. Just hang these up on your wall. Every morning you wake up, before you step out on the day, you take a look at these 2 covers and you go, oh, man, I'm going to wreck life.
Thank you, Mr. Line.
All right, Gary. Oh, Gary. Oh, he
grabbed, I guess Dave Proch, the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
And he said he grabbed that one. If anybody's interested, you can check out Dave Proch. He follows the Instagram.
Yo, on Instagram, yeah.
He's a friend of ours. And Mr. Lime's a friend of ours there on the Word Man. And he posted a thing. He bought one of his Nas prints.
Yes.
And he got the Silver Surfer. So he got it framed professionally. It's really nice.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
If you guys are interested, take a look.
In fact, Gary Wordman, if you want to follow him on Instagram, he posted a new piece he got from Dave, which is a Stanley Kubrick portrait. Yeah, Gary, that was a great piece, man. You're a lucky man to have those pieces.
We sell books and we promote Gary Lime's Instagram.
Come on, man. We're gonna promote our buddies and our
absolutely. Yeah, if you guys got something.
Fat Jack's family, I mean, come on, man. This is all. I love this art.
Was that a second Roadhouse?
I hope not.
So safe, Tom.
I'm not. I'm going to say I believe it, but Patrick Swayze wasn't in it.
He couldn't.
Right? No.
Yeah, it was probably.
But Tom, let us know more about it. Like what year it came out, who was in it, was it some of the same characters, or were they just aping?
I'm gonna guess Eric Roberts.
Oh,
I'm gonna guess Eric Roberts and Richard Grieco.
Dude, that's a good guess. Oh, and don't forget, Joel Silver absolutely produced Roadhouse, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't remember the making of the movie because he was having a good time, like most of the 80s. Don Simpson.
He was hanging around Wolverine.
Yeah, he was. He was very inspired by Wolverine number 18.
Oh, man, super cocaine.
Super cocaine. I get superpowers. Not only do beautiful women put up with me, but all right. Now the final two issues and chapters of this very strange story that I probably shouldn't have read when I was 10. Wolverine number 21. This is him on super cocaine. So Wolverine is absolutely having a good time. I'm pretty sure I've seen this face at 4 o'clock in the morning in my late 20s. I won't tell you what I was doing, but I'm pretty sure a man or a woman looked at me with this exact same face. That's a very fine plus at $7. And the final issue where the super cocaine really does turn from recreational to abuse. Wolverine fights Spore. And I'm not kidding, people. Like like sometimes we'll joke around and be a little sarcastic, and we're kind of satirizing some of this stuff because it's so goofy and absurd. Everything I've said about this story arc is very literal. So Wolverine number 22, very fine plus at $7. And now we skip a few issues, which was the Lazarus Project, where you got some Jim Lee covers. But then this is Mark Chiarello and Mike Mignola doing the finishes and the inks, which is really cool and kind of a throwback to the Kevin Nolan stuff. In fact, you know what? Before Mark Silvestri came on and he did all the covers for his run, this was a neat kind of like era for Wolverine Comics in terms of just cover art. Just, I don't know. It was different, especially it was very antithetical to what the X-Men books where Wolverine was still in. Yeah, it wasn't like the Jim Lee, kind of.
It wasn't Sue Storm and her
right
dancing out.
Now, when Mark Silvestri would later take over the book, it got a little more imagey and stuff like that, obviously. But still, this was and again, looking back, I think I appreciate a lot of this stuff now, like more now than I might have as a kid a little bit. Plus, Wolverine hung out in Madripoor too much and didn't wear his costume, and that always annoyed me.
He was a little more adult. Like,
it was very adult, yeah.
Like you wanted X-Men Wolverine, you never got it.
Well,
like it was, I mean, I'm sure if I reread this now, I would appreciate it a lot.
Oh, a lot more.
It's crime.
Well, because like let's not oh, that's great. So it's like a crime fiction.
It's just straight up like because he doesn't really super kind of anything.
Not really. In fact, the biggest like super villain was Tiger Shark. Yeah. It's mostly, and in fact, let's not forget Wolverine number 10, which is a big key of this Wolverine era. That was the issue where they first started to establish that Sabretooth might be Wolverine's father. But what was more disturbing of that issue, that they don't come out and say it, but the implication is that Sabretooth raped Wolverine's love, Silver Fox, as young, like a young man and woman. Sabretooth to mess with Wolverine, which is very women and girlfriends and refrigerators kind of thing.
Honestly, that would never happen now.
No.
Mainstream Marvel book,
nowadays. And yet Chris Claremont, John Buscema, and Bill Sienkiewicz wrote and illustrated that issue. And it is rough. Anyway, this is issue 28. This is one of the final parts of the Lazarus Project. It's only $5. And then we have issue 29. There we go. That is a very fine at $4.50. And then the final part of the Lazarus Project. Now, this one is Mark Chiarello and Al Milgrom. trying to do his best version of like Mignola or Kent Williams or something like that. This is issue 30, very fine, $4.50. Oh, they did?
They're winning.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. Well, if they win, that's important because then if the Celtics lose to the Grizzlies tonight, the Sixers will be the 3 seed. But if they lose and the Celtics win, or if they win and the Celtics win, then the 4 seed. And they probably play the Raptors. And who knows? Here's hoping. Next up, issue 31. Now, this is officially beginning the Mark Silvestri. Now, let's be honest. The Mark Silvestri run on Wolverine next to his Uncanny X-Men run are probably his 2 biggest kind of Marvel / DC like runs. Yeah. Like pretty much his X-Men and his Wolverine is what gave him the rest of his top cow career. You know, these are the books that made him money, got him a sexy wife. You know, it was these books. So here we go, a new chapter in the life of the Berserker mutant. Man, it's really mean, man. Why don't Wolverine's just trying to get better, man. He's, you know, why can't people get second chances in this world? Anyway, Wolverine 31, very fine plus $5. You know what I should do real quick? I should look at my notes and see if I forgot something that was important to mention about these Wolverine books. Do I even have them? No, I don't have my notes. All right. Well,
Mr. Edgar, we're not looking at. Don't worry about it. They'll be fine. We don't look at how they used to do. We're looking at tonight.
Yeah.
They might win tonight.
Yeah, they might win tonight. You know, again, hope springs eternally, especially if you're a Philly sports fan.
Come on, man.
All right, here we go. Issue 32. Wolverine's fighting the Yakuza. That's right. Again, a crime book for a while. But then it's about to get really weird because now we're going to start getting the androids and clones.
The little girl comes out.
Yeah, the little girl comes out. In fact, we have her first appearance.
Oh, let's see those actors.
Yeah. Lady Deathstrike shows up. Then we start getting into that era where Claremont has officially left. And we're getting into that era where Marvel editors will allow you to come up with a origin for Wolverine. But then at the end of the story arc, you have to immediately say, nope, sorry, fake memory implant. We're in that era. Yeah, there you go. Wolverine 32, very fine plus, $5. Issue 33. That's a very fine at $4.50. Issue 34. Very fine. $4.50.
Hey, fellas, since we only got a couple minutes left, it's probably time to show who won the store variant.
Yeah, that's right. We got to get.
Wait, what? Are we out of time?
We got like 3-4 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
Mr. Ebner.
Did we not? Hey, Mr. Ebner! You got the. So he won the Wildcats?
Yeah, he did.
Awesome! Oh my God, we really ran out of time.
Thank you.
That's all. Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Ebner. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, we apologize to everybody. Honestly,
No, we got a little twisted because we didn't do that last break.
We didn't do the last
We went over with the Moon Knights, and honestly, we kind of jacked Kyle up. So sorry, Kyle.
Kyle,
It ain't no big deal. I'm the one who fell asleep.
All right, Mr. Ebner, you're gonna get this.
Appreciate you sleeping through our show, Kyle.
Yeah, this classic '90s trade paperback collection of the Wildcats early issues by Jim Lee, Brandon Choi, Scott Williamson, and it comes with Wildcats number 0. All right, cool beans.
Thank you, Mr. Ebner.
All right, Mr. Ebner.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, so real quick before we go, if there were any Wolverines you were curious about that we didn't get to, let us know. If not, they'll be here at our shop here in Center City. Also, you can always visit us in our Jersey shop over in Oakland. Again, I want to reiterate, next Sunday is Easter. Fat Jack's will be closed, and we will not be doing a show. So we will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to do our local show on the Fat Jack's Comicrypt Facebook page from 4:30 to 6, and then we'll be back here on The Experience from 6 to 8. Again, you can always follow us on social media at the FJC Paradox. But again, once we get to the point of real business of shipping and payment, that's going to go to our email for Al to handle. So don't be annoyed if there's an extra hoop you have to jump through and you're like, why don't you guys just do Venmo or something?
This is like the only time we spend together too, so we don't really get to touch
Yes.
base during the week.
Yeah.
So, but well, I'll get the invoices out tomorrow, Tuesday, and anything claimed. Well, I'll be in touch.
Man, we are a real well-oiled machine. This
But
modern
at the end
era.
of the day, you're getting good books at a good price.
Yes, hey, and that's all that matters.
You just have to deal with us.
Yeah, we're here to talk about comics, celebrate comics, sell comics, and hopefully get them into your hands. With that said, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate your time. For everybody to make claims and purchases tonight, all that kind of stuff. And we really do look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Hopefully Banana will be back, so the tripod is fully erect. And don't forget, May 1st, Zanin himself is going to be live here.
Mr. Peabody.
Yeah, Mr.
himself.
Peabody is dealing with Rocky and Bullwinkle, you know. With that said, everyone, enjoy the holiday if you observe it, and be well. I hope everyone's safe, all that kind of stuff. And we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Peace.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.